There was an app called T. It was a private social network designed for women to share kind of tips about dangerous situations they've had with men that they've been dating, so they can warn each other. And very unfortunately, it's had actually a couple of data breaches. So the first one, it's interesting the way it's been reported, because a lot of mainstream outlets have been calling it a hack. And I think that's generous, to be honest, because what actually happened is that they stored IDs and selfies that they used for verification in a publicly accessible database.
Was the database?
Yes, this sounds really bad.
Was it password protected?
No.
So what do you mean a publicly accessible database? Just like
It was effectively a case of if you knew where to look, you could just get the pictures of selfies and it was. And
that's not a hack.
So you could just find like this
That's
URL, you could find this
pretty much.
straight
So
away.
I'd like to say I have hacked Wikipedia because I searched something and got the results back. So that means I've hacked Wikipedia.
I presume that they would have found it by reverse engineering the way that either the app or the backing services worked, which would have contained references to this storage bucket, and then an attacker would have gone, ooh, I wonder if it's got authentication, and found out that it didn't, which is...
Chrome's inspect element will let you see the web.
It's an app.
It's a little bit more. It's a little bit more in depth than that, but it's not that much more in depth. And this for something that's storing data as sensitive as that, it's just a rookie mistake.
I mean, it's not a rookie mistake. That's active
malpractice.
Malpractice, because that's. I mean, I know that, and I shouldn't be coding secure things. It's putting a username and password on something. That is, my 12-year-old brother knows that he should do that. I mean, that's just crazy.
So yeah, a lot of major outlets have been calling it a hack, which isn't strictly...
As I say, I've hacked Wikipedia.
But a lot of the discussion that I've seen online has hinged on, the app was vibe coded, and that's why they were able to create an app without understanding security.
Could you, just for the listeners at home, the uninitiated,
so
what is vibe
using
coding?
AI tools to code something. Marks, you might be able to give a...
Basically, the idea of vibe coding is that rather than creating an app or an online service or whatever by writing code in programming language, you ask an AI to do it, and it writes some code, and if the code doesn't quite do what you wanted it to, you ask the AI to change it, and you get into this sort of cycle, which some have said that it makes them more efficient because it means that they can sort of think at a higher level, not have to get into the details of the code. But the unfortunate thing is that it is, in this case, it is incredibly very possible to end up with your application running code that you don't understand, and thus you don't know whether it's secure, as has happened in several cases in the past, though we must be careful to note that...
I was about to say, just to clarify, we're about to find out why, but it probably wasn't vibe coded. But if it was, it would have been a case of, an AI going blah, 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 I don't need authentication, it's an internal thing, and then it obviously
is realizing that it's not.
Yes, but Cameron, you're going to want to tell us why
the
this isn't the case.
database that was accessed was actually replaced in, I think, early 2024. They talked about this being legacy data, and that's before vibe coding was kind of realistically possible with the state that large language models were in at that point. And the upsetting kind of ending to that story is, this app was designed for women to anonymously share experiences. It's about their safety, and it ended with, because men are gross, someone creating like a hot or not style app with all the leaked photos.
Yeah.
And then, to make matters worse, there was a second breach. There was a flaw in their API, which meant all DMs from that service were available. And in fact, you could even send push notifications to all the users of that app.
Oh, God.
And, there were obviously really, really sensitive discussions, identifying information in there, which is a total disaster.
All around, not great.
Not great, no.